it's interesting to me. There are more than 10,000 real estate agents in the Jacksonville area. And when you're looking to choose one, the question becomes, do they know the area that I'm looking at? Are they experts? Do they live there? Do they eat there? Do their kids go to school there? Do they know everything there is to know about the community that I'm moving into? I have got an expert on the beaches with me, Jean Pickett from RE/MAX Watermarke, who knows the life at the beach. Jean, welcome.
Hey, Wally. Good to be here.
You know, it's so fascinating to me the way that you've taken your joy of beaches living, become an expert. Yeah, a real estate expert, but where I can eat, where I can get my hair done, should it start to grow again. All of those things to
Right.
make a person's transition to beach life everything they dream it would be.
You know, it's interesting. I moved to Jacksonville in 95, and my first house was off of Hodges. My next house was off of San Pablo Road. I was every transition to get closer to the beach, you know, because I had the opportunity to live at the beach when I first moved there. We didn't take that opportunity, which we regretted ever since. But now we live at the beach. I mean, we've always played at the beach, but now we actually live at the beach. And it really is its own environment. It's its own city. Crossing the ditch becomes painful, you know, like when you're off, basically. You know, obviously we all have to go to work wherever that is. But yeah, it's a totally different vibe. Get on your bike and ride to the restaurants, to meet your friends. I mean, yeah, it's a special place.
I have friends, and I know you do as well, that are second, third, and fourth generation beach people, and it's almost a different state.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just so different when they get culturalized at the beach, and they just know every street and everything. And that's what I admire so much about what you do, is you have immersed in the culture and fabric of the beach, so that if I decide I'm leaving the Ortega River and I'm heading the beach, I know block by block, you can tell me how far I got to walk to get to Culhane's or whatever I got to
exactly.
do.
Yeah, I mean, our beach, so the beaches area is not wide, like mileage, like from the ocean to the intercoastal. It's not very wide, but it definitely has its different vibes within, you know, and those people say they do want to walk. Like I had one yesterday. She's like, she wants to look at everything under 500,000 walkable to the beach. It's like, okay, do you want to cross 3rd Street or do you not? Because that's like playing Frogger, you know, and some people don't want to do that. So, you know, so it's a matter of, okay, what is their lifestyle? What type of beach do they want? Do they really want the beach, or do they really want Ponte Vedra, the golf lifestyle? Because the beach isn't as accessible there. So, or, you know, if you move up further and into Atlantic Beach, that's a completely different vibe on its own.
Yeah.
So it's where are they going to spend their time, and what is their lifestyle going to be? You know, there's some people that don't want to live so close to the action, but they want to live down the intercoastal side.
Right.
You know, and that's more the neighborhoods, you know, the planned communities and that kind of feel.
What I enjoy about the beaches and the collective is the tremendous nuance, neighborhood to neighborhood. I'll tell you my natural place amongst all the beach communities, and I've been in thousands of homes at the beach over the years, thousands of homes. My right natural fit is in Atlantic Beach.
Oh, yeah.
I gravitate toward those houses that are 20 years old, 30 years
Yes.
old, 50 years old, some cases 70 and 80 years old. It's almost, and my Atlantic Beach friends don't appreciate this, but I describe Atlantic Beach as Avondale by the sea.
Oh, yes.
You have
yeah.
that tremendous sense of neighborhood, that tremendous sense of community, predominantly local one-of-a-kind businesses as opposed to a long string of the usual suspects of franchise-type things. That's where my right place is.
I love Atlantic Beach. I love the vibe there. I love the feel. To me, you know, being from the Northeast, it feels like a Northeast beach town.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just very eclectic. all different types of homes.
You've just explained it to me. I hadn't thought about that. We basically grew up in the same place at different times. Me in Camden, New Jersey, you across the river in Philadelphia, going to the Jersey shore.
Right.
Though our Atlantic Beach friends wouldn't appreciate us comparing them to Jersey Shore.
No.
But in the sense of a real history and a communal sense. I've had conversations with other people like Atlantic Beach.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's not right for everybody. That's why there's different feels.
Well, every beach has its vibe. I mean, I have people like that live in Ponte Vedra that would just never even consider living in Jack's Beach. You know, like
that was my point.
Yeah,
there's a tremendous
I live in Jack's
nuance.
Beach, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love Jack's Beach. I love any beach actually. I mean, there's good and bad areas in no matter where you live. You know, you're going to have good and bad neighbors.
I would change it. I wouldn't say there's good and bad. There's just real different.
Different, yeah.
Real different. Like growing up in Philadelphia, how many neighborhoods are, when somebody says, oh, I'm from Philly, how many neighborhoods? That means it's hundreds of nuanced neighborhoods. In the beach, many people just don't realize how the Atlantic and Neptune and Jack's Beach and Ponte Vedra, those are vastly different, nuanced communities. And I love that piece of it.
I do too. I mean, I love how eclectic it is on each, and each has its own personality. And they all each have their own restrictions as well. You know, so if we have somebody looking, so, hey, I want to buy a vacation home that I can Airbnb, well, then we're not looking at Atlantic Beach, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so there's different things about each city we have to understand as well when we're working with our customers.
You're driving it home to me again. It's local knowledge, local knowledge, local knowledge, local knowledge, local knowledge, local knowledge. Yeah. This is to really draw from that person, how do you want to live? How do you want it to feel? How do you intend to use this property and end up in the right spot? You mentioned Airbnb. I know that's a hot button in many of the beach communities. If that's an important piece of your financial structure and why you're doing this thing, and you're dealing with an agent that doesn't know the ins and outs, and you end up with a $500, $700, $1.5 million property that, it does not suit the use that you had planned.
Well, and two, it's one of those things, if that is your intent, you want to work with an agent that has the experience to know this ahead of time, not find it out along the way, and you've been looking in these areas that it just wouldn't work, you know, so.
Working with real estate agents is a little bit like working with attorneys. I have discovered, sometimes the hard way, that one who says, I can do everything, usually isn't very darn good at anything. But when someone has that laser-focused area of expertise in law or in real estate, suddenly you get what you're after way quicker, way less painless, and you usually you win in the end.
Yeah, and I'm of that mentality. I would rather go to a specialist versus a general practitioner.
I want it in doctors, I want it in lawyers, I want it in real estate people. I want specialty expertise in everything.
When I had construction issues with my house, I went to an attorney that specialized in construction issues. I didn't want to work with an attorney that I knew had to go in the back room and start flipping through the book. You know, and I think there's a lot of professions who are like that. You know, obviously, you know, we get customers from all over, and I've sold all over Jacksonville. You know, but we all need to have our niche. You know, that one thing that's special and near and dear to our hearts. You know, and the beach is where it's at for me.
And you know, it's not just on the buy side.
No, it's selling.
Got to
as
be
well.
on the sell side. That's how you market and position that for maximum dollar.
And here again at the beaches, you know, we do have hurricanes that come along. And so there are very specific questions these buyers have, questions and concerns regarding our weather that they won't have in Orange Park. You know, so then we have the flood elevations and all these other different layers.
Coastal setbacks and on and on and on.
That just wouldn't be in a standard lot in the middle of Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's not hard when you're dealing with people that know how to do it. Everything is easy when you know how. You mentioned questions.
Well, it's learning.
For folks that like to sit with you and you're a joy to sit with and have these conversations, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
That would be jpickethomes.com.
jpickethomes.com.
Yes.
How many T's in Pickett?
2.
I knew that.
GTs, yeah, yes.
I want to thank Jean for spending time with us. You want to know something about the beach? You want to know Jean.